The house waited. It squatted on the rise of a lonely hill, stark against the bruised twilight sky. Oakhaven. Its name was a gentle lie, for no oaks grew near its crumbling foundation, only gnarled, skeletal pines that clawed at the wind. The structure itself was a testament to decay, its paint peeling like sunburnt skin, its windows dark, vacant eyes staring out at a world that had long since forgotten it. Silence, thick and heavy as a shroud, clung to the very stones, a silence that seemed to listen rather than merely exist. Clara arrived on a Tuesday. The sky was overcast, matching the muted grey of her old car. She was a woman who valued her solitude, a librarian seeking a temporary escape from the city's relentless noise. She had found Oakhaven advertised obscurely, a forgotten rental for those who truly wished to be alone. Its isolation was its primary appeal. She carried a small suitcase and a box of books, her companions for the intended retreat. Her sensible shoes crunched on the gravel she had to park upon, the actual drive being impassable. She sought peace, a quiet place to read, to think, to simply be. The key, old and iron, felt cold in her hand. It turned stiffly in the lock of the massive front door. The sound echoed unnaturally in the profound stillness. As the door creaked inward, a gust of stale, musty air greeted her, carrying the scent of dust, decay and something else, something faintly, unpleasantly sweet. Clara paused on the threshold, a flicker of unease passing through her. The hall beyond was vast, cloaked in shadows that the weak afternoon light struggled to penetrate. She told herself it was just an old house, nothing more. Old houses had their smells, their creaks, their atmospheres. Days passed in a slow, unsettling rhythm. Clara attempted to establish a routine, a bulwark against the house's oppressive atmosphere. She explored the downstairs rooms, her footsteps echoing in the vast, empty spaces. Each room was a repository of dust and forgotten things, heavy furniture shrouded in white, portraits on the walls whose eyes seemed to follow her. She found a kitchen, surprisingly functional despite its age, and made herself simple meals. Yet the food tasted bland, the silence of the house swallowing even the clatter of a spoon against a bowl. She felt a growing reluctance to venture into the shadowed hallways alone. The disturbances began subtly. A book she was certain she had left on the bedside table would be found on the floor, its pages ruffled as if by a sudden draught, though the windows were closed. The subtle disturbances grew bolder, more insistent. One evening, as Clara sat huddled by the meagre fire she had managed to coax to life in the grand cold hearth, she heard it, a whisper. It was faint. So faint she thought at first it was the wind or the crackling of the logs. But it came again, a soft, sibilant sound from the darkest corner of the room, too indistinct to form words. Yet undeniably there. Her blood ran cold. She called out, "Hello, is anyone there?" Her voice trembled, absorbed instantly by the heavy draperies and the oppressive silence that followed. The whispering did not answer, but she felt its lingering echo. Shadows, once merely an absence of light, now seemed to possess a life of their own. Clara's world had shrunk to a terrifying pinpoint of existence. Days blurred into a monotonous cycle of fear and fragile attempts at normalcy. She barely ate. Her books lay unread. The silence of Oakhaven was now a roaring in her ears, punctuated by the phantom whispers and the creaks that sounded like stealthy footsteps. She knew she should leave, flee this place of suffocating dread, but a strange paralysis held her captive. It was as if the house had woven its tendrils around her will, slowly drawing her into its shadowy embrace. She felt herself becoming another of its forgotten secrets. One late afternoon, the grey light failing outside, she found herself standing before a tall, antique mirror in the dim hallway. Its surface was clouded with age, reflecting her own pale, haunted face like a ghost in the glass.